So there's some switches around the back here that I cleaned up with some abrasive, very mild abrasive. That seems to have helped. Certainly for the left channel we seem to be stable. The right channel, there's definitely a problem with this control, because I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the needle is moving along, and if I just wiggle this, I can lose the signal completely. See, it's gone. I've lost it now. Just touch it and it's extreme. So there's something wrong with this control. We're going to have a look at that. So getting at this volume controller is going to be a bit of a nightmare. I got to get this front panel off out of the way, which means I have to unsolder it here. And then as near as I can figure it, there's no access underneath here. But this entire front subframe looks like it unscrews. And so, but this pot is not like wired to the main board with wire. I think it's directly soldered onto some sort of a daughter board underneath there, which means I think I'd have to release both of these pots in order to get this panel off. Anyway, we'll keep at it. Okay, it might not be so bad. It turns out both of these volume controls mount to a daughter board around the back, and there's an access panel on the base here, which should let me get access to these controls. Wow. What a strange set of pots. What are my chances of finding one of these? Oh dear. Okay, well I guess the first thing we'll do is get it off this daughter board, and then we'll see where we go from there. Well, I had a look, there's no cracked joints here, so I'm out of luck. If we had some busted solder joints here, that would be just perfect. But we are out of luck in that regard. I think we can safely say this pot is up to shoot here. It says it's 17K. The thing here says 20, so okay, 20K pot. 3K on that side. And this side is all over the place. I can see why we have trouble here. So, challenge now is this weird pot here. Can I fix it? Well, we might have a little bit of luck here. Before getting all open heart surgery on it, I just give it a good squirt of the old contact cleaner. So now we have 17K here. We have basically nothing on that side. We have 17K on the other side. Tweak it a little bit. 1K here. 16K here. So it's looking a lot better. We're gonna leave this for a while. 8K here. 9K there. We might have been lucky. So I'm gonna leave this so that the stuff dries out a little bit. Just make sure it's still working okay. Yeah, if it's still okay in an hour or two, I'll put it back. Okay, so I'm putting it back together and we'll give it a go. The big hassle with this front panel was Getting this cable unsoldered was not a huge deal, but trying to get those wires to go back around and into the holes was pretty much nigh impossible. So what I had to do is unsolder this circuit board from the back of these meters. And so, for the benefit of anybody who needs to do it again in the future at some point, it's not worth undoing this cable. It's just easier to just undo these 4 connections each side, take that circuit board off, and solder it back on when the time comes. Okay, I did put a tape in and just did a quick play to make sure that that the VU meters were lighting up and that they're all still working in playback mode, so that seems to be okay. So we'll put this panel back on the front and we'll then check it out on record. Okay, we seem to be in business here. Although I've lost one of the output channels because the cable going to my amp is lost the channel, so I got more soldering to do. Anyway, so this is all working. So we'll put all this back together after a bit more testing and get it back in the hi-fi. So just before I put it all back together, the other area of that I had to fix, the initial reason why nothing was working is this is a dual pole changeover switch here, which is activated when you press the record button. And these contacts were not making. There's a set of normally closed and a set of normally open, which flip when you push the lever, and they were all oxidized, so I had to clean all those contacts, and it's relatively easy because there's a little screw here which mounts this whole thing onto the casing. I just took it off and take the switch out so you could get at it, put it all back together. So it was that, plus the problem with the right channel volume control, and we seem to be back in business, so we put it all back together at this point.